Do you ever wonder what goes on inside the mind of Kanye West? What makes him such an absolute genius, whether it's music or fashion or business? What makes him so good at either winning the hearts and minds of people or disappointing people? Depends on what day of the month it is. Hey guys, my name's Yahya, founder and creator of Record Breaker, where I help you shatter past your highest revenue record months in the shortest amount of time. And in today's video, since we're all about breaking records, we take a look at record breaker Kanye West, who is now known as the richest black man on earth, and what his process is. We reverse engineer it and we use it to make upwards of $50,000. So a couple of months ago, I started working with a performance coach who helps his clients achieve more in less time, have more focus, clarity, so on and so forth. Now, this guy was amazing at what he did. However, he'd been struggling to make even $1,000 in a month. The highest he'd made when he thought he got lucky was $3,000 in a month. And when I asked him, dude, you're so good, you have amazing results, what are your problems? Why aren't you able to achieve the same result again and again? And he told me that he had two problems. The first problem was his marketing was simply not working. He said, for whatever reason, man, I'm doing all my marketing, but no one's responding. And because his marketing was not working, he had to manually reach out to people, send them messages on Instagram, Facebook, etc., and then develop a rapport with them, have a conversation with them, and try to get them to book a call with him. Now remember, this guy was doing great stuff. He knew great stuff. But on the call, he was simply unable to convince the people of the value that he was providing. And so he was unable to get people to start working with him. Now, when we looked at his marketing, we noticed two major problems. First off, his marketing was okay. It wasn't bad. The question we needed to answer, and the question I asked him was, why should someone work with you and not anybody else? This is where you're stuck, and this is the problem a lot of people make. Now, we referred to Kanye West's marketing and what he does and what his protocol and formula is. Kanye never does what other people are doing. It's a well-known fact that for his album, The Life of Pablo, Kanye, inside a limousine, played all the tracks for Seth Rogen and asked him what he thought. This took him 2 hours, but he still did it, and then he incorporated all that feedback into his tracks. Another example, while working on his album, My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, rapper and producer Q-Tip was quoted as saying, Kanye offers his beats and rhymes to the committee and we're all invited to dissect, strip, or add on what Kanye is starting. By the end of the session, you see how he integrates and transforms everyone's contribution so the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. If the delivery guy came into the studio and Kanye liked him, he would make him listen to the track and hear what he had to say. So Kanye was huge on feedback, and this is exactly what we did with this client of mine. We took customer feedback, we took prospect feedback, we took client feedback, and reverse engineered it and incorporated all of that into his marketing. So he was no longer thinking and creating his marketing based off of what he thought people would like, and he was no longer thinking and creating his marketing based on what his competition was doing, but instead what his actual dream clients and prospects were telling him they needed most in their life from a performance point of view. We changed his entire offer and his service and just gave it to them. The second problem with his marketing was he was all over the place. He was jumping from platform to platform, a little bit on YouTube, a little bit on TikTok, a little bit on Facebook, a little bit on Instagram. He was getting people from wherever he could find them. So I was like, no, let's look at Kanye. Kanye first became one of the biggest legendary musicians in the world. Then Kanye moved into fashion, built up the Yeezy Adidas brand to unimaginable heights. Then he moved on to entrepreneurship and started doing other things. So I was like, dude, the power of focus is what all great people do. You need to focus. Pick one platform, do it very well, make a lot of money from that platform, and when that platform is running like a well-oiled engine, that's when you move on to another platform. So we narrowed everything down to Facebook, and he would only market on Facebook. Once we did that, people started responding left, right, and center. He was getting 17 times more clients from one platform versus all the platforms combined previously. And so we solved the marketing problem, and we solved the problem of him having to reach out to other people, get them in a conversation, warm them up to buy from him. The next problem was selling to those people, telling them what he had to offer and making sure they bought. So when we took a deeper look at his sales recordings, what I noticed was he wasn't confident. And for this reason, I had to go deep into his psychology, into his background, and understand that he grew up in an environment where he was overshadowed by an elder sibling. He grew up lacking self-confidence. He had low self-esteem about himself. This was overarching into his life now, where he would be telling me all the time that, yeah, I'm good, but I'll never be as good as that guy. And yeah, how can I ever manage to compete with that guy? Now let's take a look at what Kanye does. Kanye is known for speeding up high-pitched vocal samples. He never followed the crowd. He has 3 albums steeped in hip-hop. He was using auto-tune when people like Jay-Z Jay-Z even made a song about the death of autotune. Kanye doubled down on what he knew he needed to do, his strength, his innovation. And that's literally what we did with this client. We reprogrammed his subconscious mind. We took out all the low self-esteem, all the doubt, all the fears, and we reincorporated everything he was truly, genuinely gifted at doing. We got him to show up on the sales call, not worried about what the other person was going to think of him, but instead proud and confident of what he knew he could deliver. Everyone's special. Everyone has their special powers. You don't need to worry about competing with other people. Your people will find you. And so previously, he used to be on call recordings, drinking a lot of water, sweaty palms, this, that. And now he would show up to sales calls, super calm, comfortable, relaxed, not having to drink water all the time, and just tell the person flat out. The other thing that we drew from Kanye's model is Kanye was not, and is still not, afraid to call certain people out, whether right or wrong. I'm not getting into that debate. I'm not saying he's right. I'm not saying he's wrong. Doesn't matter. It's extreme confidence in what he believes to be true. Now, my client was trying to please people. Now, what do people need when they get on a call with you? The number one thing they look for is how confident are you in what you're saying. And if you're confident in what you're saying, case closed. They're going to buy from you because you believe it to be true. And most people, the way they sabotage themselves is they doubt their abilities and their capabilities. Kanye would never do this. Kanye never doubted his abilities, regardless of whether he had a failure or not. This is exactly what we did with my client. And then people started to respond. So his sales calls were previously 60 minutes long. They shrunk down to 30 minutes because, as we all know, you don't need to hear a person to know whether they're confident or not. People read people. Body language, tonality, eye movement, all subconscious patterns tell you whether a person is confident or not. This is exactly the same way we're able to tell when someone's lying to us because things don't add up. And so prospects would get on call with him, love what he had to offer because he'd made it according to what they wanted, and he was ultra confident about the way he did it. He went from booking 5 calls a month to 10 calls a week. And over a period of 3 months, he was at $23,000 per month, crossing a grand total of more than $50,000 in 3 months. The next thing that happened is that he started to get a new profile of a client and his results sped up. Because here's the thing, the people that he was previously getting were doing things that he wanted them to do. The people he was now getting were doing things that they wanted to do. So they were more than eager to do the things, and that sped up their results dramatically. This led us to raising the price of his offer twice during this entire time, and eventually he had to move to a group offer because he just ran out of time to work with people one-on-one. Right now, he's doing about $30,000 per month. And so the lesson of the video is we can look and analyze at all the people who are breaking records in their lives and learn specific patterns they have, specific behaviors they have, specific tools they use, specific methods they use, and incorporate those things in our lives to improve our businesses. If you like this video, like and subscribe for more content just like this. If you're interested in a detailed interview I did with this client and exactly what we did and how we did it, you can click right here. I'm out of here. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.